Jalen, you there?
Yeah. Hey Rick, you can hear me?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I just got just two quick questions.
Okay, shoot.
Okay, so first one, I had a what do we do about EMD? Like EMD. Can you explain that a little bit? Because I actually was scared. I didn't call a seller back. She was like real motivated because I didn't have any EMD. So I just let that deal go out the window because yeah.
Okay. Was she asking you for EMD?
No.
Okay, so let me just walk you through this. So you know what EMD stands for, right, Jalen?
Yes.
What's it stand for?
Earnest money deposit.
Okay, so it's just a fancy word for deposit, guys. That's pretty much it.
Hmm.
Jalen, I want you to understand the first 2 years of this business, I didn't even do a deposit. I didn't do it once.
What?
Number one, I didn't have it, and number two, do you guys know a deposit is not required on a contract? That is just that's just like you guys are all just old wise tales and myths. I'm just telling you, you do not have to have a deposit. Now, I'm not here to argue with lawyers, but if I probably did 50 deals in my first 2 years without even talking about deposit. Just to let you know, you know why? I didn't even understand what they were.
Hmm.
Nobody taught me ever to ask one. So guess what? I never even you want 50 grand for your house? And we agreed on 50 grand. That's it. I didn't go over the deposit because they just want their house sold. So I find that most of you guys with deposits, it's your internal struggle. You think it's required. You can put a zero deposit on a contract. Now, when we got technical, there's some states and how you want to read it, you're supposed to do some sort of consideration. But I mean, does $10 sound like consideration to you? Like for a deposit? It's to me, it's not very valid. So in theory, you do not have to leave a deposit. That's in your head.
Okay.
You got so many people telling you I have to leave a deposit. Let me let you in on a little secret. Highly motivated sellers don't give a crap about deposits most of the time. They just want their house sold. They're not going to get into the weeds. You know who gets in the weeds on deposits?
The cash buyer?
Retail sellers. They're a nightmare.
Oh, okay.
So I get people all the time that argue deposits on me. Like, so it's you're not going to be immune to it, but I'm telling you, number one, you have to recognize a lot of your thoughts and process about EMD and deposits. It's in your head.
Okay.
So if I already told you can do it for zero, and I've proven this theory over and over, and I'm not the only one, people have done it all over the country. So that's number one. Number two, deposit mostly in American culture is people feel if you leave a strong deposit, they're a strong buyer. That's it. That's the correlation. Okay. So they think the more of a deposit you leave, the more serious you are about it. Does it really matter what you leave in deposit? I always look at the seller. If you can get them to concentrate on the final sell price of the house, they won't spend forever on the deposit. Most of the time when they spend all their energy on the deposit, it's either their friend, the realtor, or somebody leaning in their ear. You got to get a bigger deposit. That's
because
it.
because I was supposed to call her back, but that was the 17th.
So
I just got so scared and I didn't even call her back.
It's no big deal. So worst case scenario, you leave her $100 deposit, $100. Can you scrape up $100?
Possibly, yes. I think so.
So here's the little trick I'm also going to teach you.
Okay.
By the way, everything in real estate is negotiable, guys. This isn't like FBO, Amazon, crap like that. And guys, I've been doing this 20 years. It doesn't go away and it doesn't get shut down. So did you know you can negotiate when you leave your earnest money deposit? Did you know that?
No.
So here's a little trick. You know about the inspection period, right?
Yes.
And how long are you going to ask for an inspection period when you get a contract with her?
30 days in this market.
Correct. And you are going to leave your earnest money deposit on the 30th day.
Okay.
So you can just write in there earnest money deposits to due upon final acceptance of inspection period, which is going to be 30 days, which gives you what?
30 days to get the $100.
Correct. So you can now go find a cash buyer. And if the deal's good, you can use that $100 and use it towards the deposit on that contract. It's not your money, it's their money. You got to get it out of your head. Some of them will hit you in the mouth with it. I can't stop everyone. But what you have to do is have them focus on getting their house sold and not the deposit, because the deposit, think about this. So you have a 30-day inspection period. So after 10 days, you decide, I don't want anything to do with this deal. It doesn't make sense. What happens to the deposit?
It goes to her if you did place it down. But if you didn't.
No, it goes to you. As long as you're within your inspection period. So you're negotiating a mute point. Think about it. You could leave $1 million. As long as you let her know by the 29th day you want it back, they have to give it back to you. So why are we discussing this? I want to get your house sold. Okay. And that's all I do is focus on them. Guys, really highly motivated sellers do not negotiate the deposit. They don't overly care about it. Every now and then they get stuck in their brain on it. So my recommendation, $10 doesn't work. 100, So you could go up to $500, just write in your contingency clause or the addendum, say, earnest money deposits due upon completion and acceptance of final inspection period. That's it. So if it's 500 or 1,000, guess what?
You get it back.
Yeah, and you get it from your seller. So you have to honor your commitment for whatever your inspection period is. And then, Jay, let's take it a step further. If you use my contract and say you screw up and you wait 40 days and you left $100, what happens to that $100?
You lose it, correct?
Correct. Do you lose anything else?
No.
Long as you didn't commit fraud, you just gambled $100. Jalen, you ever spend $100 on something stupid?
Yes, plenty of
that you had no shot of making money at? So every now and then you could lose if you did a 7 or 10 day. And that's why I told every one of you, try to get 30 days or more.
Okay. So, wait, you said my cash buyer can pay my earnest money?
Easily. Think about it. So if you find a cash buyer in the first like 10 days and you owe a $500 deposit, and like, think about that.
Okay. So would I write it on an assignment or contract? I will write.
So remember, if you put it in your purchase and sale agreement and there's an addendum section, you can simply write it in there. Don't like make it real overly fancy.
Okay.
When you sell your contract, you're selling the obligations and the rights to who?
To the cash buyer, right?
Yeah. So the cash buyer go, listen, that's fine. The EMD for this thing is $500 and it's due by next Tuesday. You got to make sure you leave that $500. And then I make sure they write the check right there to the title company. And then they're going to write me my non-refundable deposit. They can either make it out to the title company if you've never done business with them before. That's what I recommend. Or they can make it out to you. But if you're starting out in the beginning, I would wait till you do a few deals before you start asking for that.
Okay.
So keep in mind, if you paid the $500 earnest money deposit, say you had to give it to her up front, then basically the new cash buyer would replace your $500 with his $500.
Okay.
By doing this, you truly have a net gain zero down deal, but you got to go get that $500 from your cash buyer.
Okay. Makes sense. And last question.
Yes.
Zach said to like cold call until the 23rd. And do I cold call after Christmas, like the 26th? How do I?
Yeah, people are in a really good mood. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
I would say New Year's and Christmas Day are kind of like, you're really going to piss people off. So, but past that, we have a whole nother week from the 26th to like the 31st. Go nuts. Yes. Go nuts. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So thank you. So
yeah. So guys, just so you know, like the regular holidays, Easter, Christmas, like the hard hold days, 4th of July, it doesn't make sense to cold call on those days. There's not a lot of them, but there's 4 or 5 holidays that you go, okay, I can't do it. And with the deposit it's not a trick. Everything's negotiable in real estate. You have to focus on helping people solve their problems, and you get a really good deal. You find a cash buyer who says, hey, that's a great deal. And everybody wins. If everybody wins, wholesaling's fun. It's when you start lying and like tricking people. And when people get obsessed when it comes to deposit, I always talk about, remember, Susie, you said, if you could get this house sold in 30 days and move with your sister in the Carolinas, that would be your dream. Let me help you make that dream come true. Why are we spending time on the deposit? It's pointless. And then I do this too. If I left you $100 or I left you $10,000, if I decide to get out of it in 2 weeks, I'm get out of it. It's not going to change anything. The deposit is not going to change your commitment level. Now, here's the only technique I do. If somebody gives me a house like 30, 50 cents on the dollar, I'll give you a big fat deposit. I don't care. But I'm still, guys, even my tightest contracts, I write a 3-day inspection just to make sure we cover everything. So if you guys are leaving a big deposit, you got to know something that it's a major home run, like huge home run, because you're going to take financial risk when you do it. But you're on, like, go. And so I need you to get off the phone with me and call her like as soon as possible. Don't be scared of deposit, guys. Okay, deposit's nothing. Deposit is absolutely nothing.
So what do I say to her when I call her back? Because I was supposed to call her the 17th, but I just got crazy goosebumps. I said, no, I don't got no earnest money. Like, what do I say to her? Like, you got any advice?
Say, listen, I screwed up. I know I let some time go. I lost your phone number, which you kind of did. And just say, listen, I just want to kind of go back over this deal, and then just get back into it and get her talking about it and just go right back into it.
Okay.
The worst she's going to do is say no to you. It's not like the biggest deal. And like, listen, I could tell you there's thousands of people who have done exactly what you've done. I've done it before. By avoiding it, you just make it worse and your self-confidence gets shattered. So go, okay, I screwed up. I'm going to get back on the horse. And if it bucks me again, I'm just going to keep going back on. And the next time this conversation comes up, you know exactly how to deal with it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate you.
Okay, man. I'll see you, bud.